Welcome to the Romance Your Tribe podcast with me, Janet Beckers, where every episode is about action, creating an online business you absolutely love, and bringing joy to the work you do. Let's get this party started. Hello and welcome, Janet Beckers here, and in today's podcast episode, we're going to do a little bit of navel gazing. We're going to go in deep and look at these things that drive us so much in business. We're going to look at your purpose and your why. And we're going to look then about what do you do when you feel like you're starting to lose your mojo? What do you do when you kind of can't really connect? You feel disconnected from the reasons that you're doing what you're doing. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go over like what sorts of situations could you be in that would mean that you would start to lose your connection with your purpose, with your why. We're going to look at that, okay? And then what we'll look at is, okay, well, why do you need it anyway? Because, you know, it's great. Do you need to have one? So we're going to have a look at that and where you can actually, on a practical level in your business, where does it fit in? Then we're going to look at what happens when you've lost your mojo, when you can't connect. And I've got some really practical hacks that I use because when I get in this situation, which we all do, by the way, I've already got things that are set up to help me to get out of it faster. Okay, it's happened enough that I've got systems for it. There you go. And then we'll also look at what if you don't know what your why is? Like, what if you can't find your purpose? So a few practical tips that you can use to be able to find it. Okay, so if we look first of all, like when it comes to big whys and little whys, your purpose. Okay, so your big why may be something that is a really big vision. Okay, so for me, I've got a really strong vision that I'm going to be helping thousands of people who are absolutely brilliant at what they do. I'm helping those people to totally own their brilliance and create awesome group programs that means that they can make a difference to so many more people in the world. Now, the reason I want to do this is twofold, because I love the changes that I see with the people who I work with, but also I see myself as the catalyst, a catalyst for making big changes in the world. And I can't do all of that myself. So I see myself as being the catalyst that is going to be bringing more abundance, both financially in the world and also in terms of connection. And, well, I'll just be totally honest here, with love, okay? So for me, my business is about being the catalyst to create abundance and love in the world. It's kind of a big mission, big why to do, but it truly, truly drives me, especially when the people who I'm working with are women. Really, really excites me. That's a big why. Now, your big why, you may not have one, and that's okay, because you don't necessarily need those really big reasons for what you're doing. It really helps you to infuse everything in that you're doing, but you don't need to have that, okay? A lot of times people can get this whole kind of, I don't have a big enough reason, a big enough why, but you don't have to, okay? Because we all have the second why. So for me, my second why is freedom, okay? I want to have the freedom to be able to work wherever I want. I want the freedom to be able to go bush, to get into the wilderness and explore. And I want to have the freedom to do that when and where I want, within reason. I want to have that freedom. So for me, creating my business and always keep in mind that I'm creating a business that gives me that freedom, that's my why. That's what keeps me. So it does not have to be something unselfish, because it's all about my lifestyle and my sense of freedom. So that's a why. Now, So this is a really good thing for you to do. It's one of the core things that I do when I work with anybody when it comes to building your business, because you don't want to end up building a business that you find, oh, it's actually not congruent at all with why I wanted to do this in the first place. Okay, so so it's one of those. It's a really important thing to do. But what we're going to look at for now is your purpose. So what is that? So your purpose is, it's a lot simpler, okay? It's your simple statement of like the way you do what you do. So no, not why you do it, but why do you approach what you're doing in the way that you do? It's the kind of, it's the thing that drives you, that is your real uniqueness, about your true driver, about regardless of the business that you're doing, that whatever business you would be doing, you are going to have this purpose. That's pretty unique, isn't it? We're not thinking about your business in that way of, you know, I'm creating a freedom-based business because this is going to, you know, give me so I can basically go and play under waterfalls. It's regardless of the business you do, regardless even if it wasn't in business, the kind of thing that you find that you can't help yourself, even in conversations, meeting with people, you find yourself that this is the thing that drives you. That is your purpose. And it may not always be clear to you. So it's a really nice thing when you do identify it to be able to record it somehow so that you can remember it. So your why, some of the things I'm going to be sharing here with you are definitely can be using your why, but also your purpose. But I wanted you to get an idea that purpose can be a little bit different. So I'll share mine with you, because this is something that I have just been working on recently, with doing some real sort of, I'm always doing some kind of personal development work. I love learning about other people. I love learning about myself and the way our brains and our souls work. For me, I just had this big sort of, well, that's bleeding obvious, isn't it? type aha about my purpose. And so my purpose is simple, is that I help people believe in themselves. So I help people see their own brilliance. So that brilliance that I can see in them. So that's my purpose. So no matter what I am doing, the way that I approach it, the thing that drives me is the purpose, is that I'm looking to see that the people who I work with or the people who I interact with, that they can see the brilliance in themselves that I can see. That they believe in their brilliance, they believe in themselves. So you can see how that can be different to my why of I'm creating a vehicle that gives me freedom to be able to play under waterfalls. You can see how there's that difference. So this is a really great thing for you to be able to explore. So let's just have a look here about, like, that's what it is. So let's have a look at some situations when you may lose it. Now, the reason I'm coming up, I was thinking of this topic for a podcast, is a conversation that I had with one of my beautiful, beautiful clients that I've been working really closely with now this last year. And she's in that transition point where she's been really, really busy with one-on-one clients. She's great at what she does, but she came to me because she just couldn't keep it up. She was exhausted. And so she wanted to go, instead of one-to-one, she wanted to go one-to-many. And so that's what we've been doing. And so now she's already sold in her beta program. She's sold out for how many people she can possibly work with in this first VIP group program. And they're selling for $3,000 a head, where previously, she was working with one-on-one on hourly sessions. So there's been like a big change in what she's doing, but she's really busy at the moment because she's still got one-on-one clients. She's starting this new thing, which is going to be her new business model. And it actually gave her the freedom to start off with that she started, closing down the one-on-one clients and actually moved state, moved everything. So there's a lot going on. And so we had the conversation where she was going, you get so bogged down in the doing of things, especially when there is change happening that you are creating, and all exciting change, but it's still change. There's a lot to think about. There's a lot of moving parts when you're doing something new. You can get so bogged down in the doing that it's very difficult to move yourself back to go, what is my purpose? Like, what is it that I want to make sure that I infuse in everything that I'm doing? So your why can be clear. You can keep on reminding yourself of that, but your purpose, the way that you do things. So that can be a time when you lose it. Interestingly for her, we discovered that her real purpose is to make people feel safe. And the work that she's doing with people is infused with that. It is infused with a feeling of, I am safe here. It's a beautiful healing work that she does. That may be you. Okay, I'll try to mention as many different ones as I can find, as I can think of, that I've actually been identifying with clients, so that these may help you. So that could be one situation. I know for me, I recently had the big C, the big COVID, and so I just was exhausted, disconnected from everything. I just couldn't stop sleeping, didn't have the energy to care, basically. And at the end of it, when I was coming back into work, apart from I was actually felt quite enthusiastic, but felt like so much had changed, even though it had only been a couple of weeks. So that would be another time. So it can happen after an illness. It can happen after you've been busy doing. The other time is when you may not lose it, but you're thinking, I really need to connect with my purpose. What is unique about the way that I'm doing things? When you might have a new idea. It could be a new idea for your business. It could be a new idea for, something that you want to do with other people. It could be, some kind of social event or some kind of activity that you want to do. Or if you're like me, you're always they become bigger and bigger and bigger all the time. But if you stick with business, it might be, oh, look, I'm thinking of going into this new business or bringing in this new program, a new offer. This is a really good time for you to connect, because you want to make sure, is my purpose, does this reflect it? How can I make sure that what I'm doing actually reflects that? So for me, if I'm thinking, okay, if I go down the path of creating this particular new program or a change in a product, is this going to be helping the people who take part truly believe in themselves? Is this going to help them to actually see their own brilliance and believe in that brilliance? So it doesn't really matter if it's a completely different business to what I do. Can I bring that in? Because it's going to be the thing that is my sole purpose. It's something that I can't not do. So you want to make sure that you're actually strategically making sure you do that. Okay. The other time when it is really great to do this is when you are putting any kind of sales material together, whether that is going to be a sales letter, whether it's going to be captions that you may put on social media, whether you're writing an email. You really want to be able to connect first with your why, but with that purpose. So you go, do people understand that I'm going to help them to totally see and own and believe in their brilliance? Is through what I'm doing demonstrating that, either explicitly or just in the way I make them feel? So whatever yours is, so in one of my other clients, the client I mentioned, is this going to make them feel as if this is a safe place, as though they have the skills to be safe? another client of mine is all about energy. Is this going to help people to have more energy, to feel energy, to be committed to energy? So that's, that's another way that you can be using that, is in your sales copy. Very, very practical thing that you can be doing, and why it is an important thing to do. So now let's look at when you feel like you may have lost your connection there to what your true purpose is. You've been so busy in the doing. This is where I mainly find it. So busy in the doing, I forget what my purpose is. Like, what is it that I know that I will not be able to help myself but create for people? So this is what I do. Okay, I get my, actually, if you've been watching the video, you might have been watching my eyes go off to the corner. I've actually got it written on my whiteboard. Now, my whiteboard takes up, this is my whiteboard. I'm just going to show you on the video here. If you're watching the video, that's my whiteboard. It's my brain dump for strategies. But over there in a corner underneath those little labels, which have got people's names on them who were buying a program that I've been selling, I always like to look at all of their names, and I actually put little kisses. I say hello to them. Underneath there is, I've actually got a little line there that's got this is my purpose. It's got it there for me. So that's one thing. Have it somewhere where you can see really quite clearly. So I can just turn around from my computer, look there, as well as seeing all this brain dump of the things that I needed to get out of my head, is I remind myself that this is what drives me. This is the true transformation that I create. How I do that, well, that fits in perhaps with my why, and how I'm going to do it, but everything I do will come down to there. So that's one way that I do it. Now, the other thing that I do is I actually use my phone, and I use two different things that are on my phone. One is the Notes app. So where you can write notes. That's where you write your shopping lists and things like that. I actually have in there my purpose. I also have little notes that say why I do what I do. I also have notes to say, this is my ideal client. Remember who it is, Janet, that is your perfect client. So I have all of that in my notes section. Now, I also, and this sounds a little bit crazy, I also use the voice memo part on my telephone, and I record messages to future Janet. So myself at the moment, later on, I'll be thinking this is past Janet. So I'll actually say, hello, future Janet. This is past Janet here. I'm here to remind you that your true purpose in everything you do with your clients is you help them see their brilliance and believe in it. You help them believe in themselves. That's your superpower, Janet. That is your purpose. So I know it sounds crazy and other people don't listen to it, but in the future, future Janet listens to messages from past Janet. Sometimes I will sing those messages to myself. So I also have other recordings where I am telling myself why I'm doing what I do. And I always save to record these on a day when I'm feeling super connected, because I'll go, you know what, before I forget what this feels like, Janet, and the clarity I've got, I'm going to record this for you. So when you've got a day when you're feeling disconnected, you can come and listen to it. Sounds kind of crazy, but it works. Okay, so I haven't got to the stage of recording a video for myself. I think that might be a little bit distracting for me. I might feel a little bit weird, but hey, if that works for you, do that as well. You're the only person that's going to see it. Okay, yep, phone will be password protected. So so they are really simple things that are a little bit out of the box, but honestly, the difference that it makes to you when you are getting tired, when you're feeling that you're stuck down in the details and you're forgetting the reason why you're doing things, when you may be creating sales copy and you're getting stuck, you can go and listen to those. You can go and read those and go, aha, that's right. I'm awesome at this stuff. So as you may see a little bit of a trend here, is, and this is this is a good point. If we go to the last thing about what if you actually don't know what your purpose is, you don't know what your superpower is, what do you do? So here are a few things. Is very often it's the one thing that you need yourself. And one of my lovely clients, who is a counselor, psychologist, really clever on neuro stuff, she was saying that a lot of times the thing that drives people is whatever past trauma that they have had. And trauma doesn't necessarily have to mean hard trauma. It can be just programming that you may have had. That's sort of using the psychology type term of trauma. But very often it's the thing that you need to learn in life yourself. So obviously, I must feel a need to be able to believe in myself and believe in my brilliance, because I am using my superpower of reflecting that back to other people for myself. So that's what I do by my recording. So hey, just, a bit of psychobabble here, that this might help you. Okay, so if you can't find what it is, think about the things that you feel are your greatest needs, your greatest doubts, the things. One of my clients was saying, well, yeah, for her, safety has been an important thing. For the other client that I've got, is activity is being, or energy is infused in every single thing that she does in her life. So these are one of the things for you to look at. So number one is, look at it as, what do you need? Okay, that may very well help you to work out your superpower that you use with other people. Another great time to do is when you're working with a client and you're thinking, God, I love this stuff. Whenever you get that moment, or you've got off a call or a meeting and you're buzzing because you thought, that was great. I really felt a real connection. I just felt like, I made a difference today. I want you to stop and think, what was it? Were there some certain phrases that they said or you said that helps you to connect, and you'll feel it in your gut, is, yes, that's what I got to experience. That will be your purpose that you're putting throughout all the work that you're doing. Now, the other one that I do is, you might find it when you lose track of time when you're with somebody. You're losing track of time with what you do because you're so immersed in it that you haven't even realized what the time is. And the other great way to think about this is what I call the beer test. Okay, when you find yourself that you might have met somebody it could be at a social event, or it could be in a business thing, and you start talking about something and you're thinking, I love this conversation. I love the connection, the energy that we've got here. Let's go and get a beer together. Like, I will stay there and talk for ages if you keep on buying me beers on this. Margaritas, actually, to be honest, but that would be better. So the beer test is a great one, because that is the thing that you will realize, at the end of this, I felt like I made a difference. That's your purpose. So you're looking for that. In what of those situations do you get driven? So, for example, for me, even though my business is not marketed to young people, especially young women, and when I'm talking, this is teens, early 20s, that's not really my target market. I can't help myself, because I can't help myself but support them. I can't help myself but give them ideas with mentoring. I can't help but help reflect back to them, what do I see as their brilliance? Because, and I just say that, I suppose, because of the age of my children, I have a lot of contact with younger people, especially younger women, and I'm often getting feedback from them that the difference that I made in their life, and it's, I'm not creating a business around, but that's my purpose. okay? Because I just go back to them and saying, you made the purpose for me, you made the difference because you're actually, I can see results for what my purpose is. This is feeds my soul as much as yours, okay? So, so you will find that you're using it in things apart from your business, okay? So they're the sorts of things that you are looking for. So this has been a bit of a different podcast. It feels as though I may have been a little bit rambly, but it's actually really, really important for you for when you can keep your resilience in your business, because that resilience is what means that when things get challenging, or when you get overwhelmed, or when you get unwell, or when you've had a pretty crappy day for whatever reason, the people who survive in business and thrive are the ones who have that resilience. You need to have those things that keep you connected and keep you motivated. So really exploring and getting to know what is your purpose that you bring to everything, that you bring to the way that you do your business and why you do it, your little superpower that you've got. That's a really important thing that keeps you connected, that feeds your resilience. Actually having some little hacks like my messages to future Janet. They're important hacks. They're systems that you can have in place that you know that when you're feeling disconnected and your resilience is dropping, you've already got the tools created to help you get that back. Because that's the difference. You've got a difference to make through your business. Whether it's your big why or your small why, you've got that difference to make. You need to stay connected with that beautiful energy that keeps you going, because that is where your resilience is, and that infusing everything you do with this purpose is what attracts those most perfect clients to you. Okay, I would really love to hear from you. Do you want to hear more of these sorts of topics when it comes to you with me through the podcast? And I'd also like to know, what's your purpose? What's your superpower? What do you bring to the way that you structure and deliver everything in your business, to the way that you can't help yourself, you can't turn it off? What is it that gives you that incredible sense of, wow, I made a difference. I did a great job today. What is that purpose that is being recognized in those moments? I would really, really love to hear from you about that. So to do that, some of the best places, you can drop me an email. Great places to come over to Instagram. You can drop me a direct message. You can comment on this post here. I would really like you to actually share it publicly, what your purpose is, because there are going to be other people that really resonate with that. And that will be attracted to you. So do that. Come and share that publicly. I would love you to do that. Leave a comment over on any of my posts that are there on this topic. So go get them, go and make a difference, and feed your soul as you're doing it. Bye. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I loved hanging out with you, so let's do this again. The best way to do that is to subscribe right now to Romance Your Tribe podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you'd like to dive in deeper to more episodes, great resources, and really in-depth free training, come over and join me at romanceyourtribe.com. Bye.